Rick held it very still. The temperature stabilized, and then we drove them all back in, and it worked great. So then that took 7.5 hours. So we brought them back in and went out the third spacewalk with a completely new plan. So we did eventually get the old tank back into our payload bay. We did have to change up a couple of things, leave some stuff still on station that we hadn't originally planned to do. But that just speaks to the great teamwork that is on the ground. That's our mission control team. Another good 6.5 hour EVA, we bring the folks back in, and as you would imagine, if you just have one 32-ounce bag of water for 6.5 hours, these guys are hungry and tired. So we get them up on the wall there so that we can take off the tools. We're removing all of their tools that they use to help, like the big pistol grip tool and hooks and everything. And then give them some food and give them some rest.
And during the mission, we conduct several experiments as well. For example, we deliver lots of samples of the life science experiments, which needs to be stored in a cold temperature. So we are delivering some samples from the space station freezer to the space shuttle freezer, so that we can deliver them in a cold temperature. And Commander Poindexter is injected in silver and take some samples of the water. And in the space shuttle, we generate power using the hydrogen, oxygen, and we could generate water. So we supply those excess water to the space station. And of course, we have to clean the wall, as you know, like the daily life cleanup. And here's a Russian module, service module. And for lunch, once we got together and had some lunch. And here is a space shuttle midday. Of course, even though microgravity, Apple is too big. And here's water bubble. And Clay and I put M&M chocolate in it. But once it gets closer to the wall, we have to swallow it. And I brought cherry blossoms. So we tried to make some art. Again, I brought too much, and we have to swallow it.
It was really nice to be able to eat together. We had 3 meals as a full entire crew of 13. The first was a Russian dinner, and then the second one, Noko and Suichi provided us with the first sushi dinner in space. And it was very delicious. Of course, we couldn't have raw meat because of biological concerns, but we still had rehydrated shrimp and some mackerel, and it was just really delicious. And the commanders approve of the wasabi also. It's really important to exercise in space. So you saw me biking there, and here the commander is using ARED, Advanced Resistive Exercise Device, to lift weights and to keep his heart conditioned for our return to Earth, since we had a 15-day mission. A lot of blood is lost, blood volume, and of course muscle deterioration. But one thing we gain is height. And so I got to tell my little sister that she wasn't so little. She tends to be taller than me, but I actually gained 1.5 inches in space. Sleeping in space is also a wonderful experience. As you saw, our commander slept on the flight deck. He stretched his